Okay, quick shop video here. Gonna take a look at the milling machines. So here is the old milling machine. I'm gonna flip the camera around. Okay, so this is the Lagoon, 3 horsepower, has a head like a drill press, just like this. Has a table, XY. I can move the table in and out. It even has a power feed to move that back and forth. Great, classic Bridgeport style milling machine. Okay, so here's the more modern thing. So this is the A-Trump. Instead of hang on a second. So on this machine, it's called a knee mill. So this goes up and down, and that's called the knee. And there's a crank right here that you use to crank the knee up and down. You turn it like this, the knee goes up and down. On this machine, the table is fixed and the head moves up and down. The head moves up and down on these big, beautiful ways. And there's the screw. That's a ball screw. That's a high precision ball screw that's used to control the head going up and down. And although you see the cranks here, you don't actually usually use the cranks here. The cranks are also run by motors. You look up under there, you'll see there's the ball screws. And there's a big bearing under there, and there's DC motors, and there's a big controller, and there's all kinds of fancy stuff inside this cabinet, which is the control system and the power and all of that. All right, so let's turn it on. And of course, because this is a CNC mill, computer boots, and this is the control system. So this is pretty much just a regular PC running Linux, but it has all these fancy control boards that are connected to it. And so after it boots, there it goes, booting, booting, booting. It will run the special control software for the mill. Give it just a minute. Well, while that's booting, so this is a power connection. So this is, although I have a drill press head in it here, if I run over here quick while that thing is booting, where did I put it? This uses a different kind of head that looks like this. This is called a Cat 40 head. You can see that's where various chucks and things can go. All right, I'll run back over now that it's up and going. All right, so since it's a computerized mill, and since I had just moved things around, the machine doesn't exactly know where the system is. So what's the first thing we have to do? If we start it up right now, it will. It's moving itself. Oops, there it is. It's finding its home position, which is the table all the way forward, all the way right, and the head all the way up. So that's called the home position. And now you can see that's the X, that's the Y. And I don't have a computer program here to run it, but I have this fancy thing. So with this, I can completely control it also. Now, I have to put it in manual mode. All right, lights on. Okay, and now if I move this crank, let me see if I can figure out how to do this. I don't know if you can see that. Here, I'm just going to hold this. As I turn the knob, that moves around, and if I switch to, say, the y-axis and I move the knob, I'm going to stop, I'm going to go the other way, I'm going to go the other way. There we go. And then, have I decided to do something serious? I believe I can turn on, well, I have to set the spindle rate and everything else. But if I were to actually mess around with getting that set up, then the, let's see, manual, there we go. Spindle on, spindle off. That concludes the first demo of the CNC machine.